don't think I might need a microphone in here, but of course I was kidding myself, wasn't I? Hi Sophie, welcome. Thank you for coming, first of all, and thank you for being here. This is a celebration, because Louise and I have spent months weaving in amongst everything else. Our little boy is 2.5 years old, so it's taken 2.5 years to write this book and get it together. So in amongst nappy changing and everything else, this book has been written and is now in hard format, thanks Paul, which it feels incredible to have it manifest in this way. Yeah. Thank you. So you don't know me, I'm Chris Gladwell, this is Louise Blender. We like the work. When you read it, the images are beautiful. When you like the world, I think there's a lot of very, very deep and profound insights and questions in the book as well. And it is important that the questions are there as well. Because this book arises out of practice. This book arises out of, Louise is a practitioner, a yoga practitioner, meditation practitioner, I'm a practitioner. And a lot of people, love you are practitioners. And this book arises out of practice. It's what you find out through practice in some way. And if I define that, practice is simply a method to help us remind ourselves of what's important and what's real. It just removes the clutter and helps us remember what's true. Yeah? That's all it's about. It's simple. Okay? So, and when we unfold into our original nature like that, and that's the term I'm going to use today, when we unfold into our original nature like that, yeah? The question is, how do we then see the world? How do we see the world? What does the world look like from the eyes of our original nature? And it becomes important then, in terms of what we do from that place. Because from that place of being, how we engage in the world then matters to us. It becomes really important. And we're in some time.
Yeah, actually that part is something that we really carefully considered during every single meeting that we had when we got together to go through edits, or when we got together to talk about which photo was going to work in which section and which one wasn't, and what did we need to get, and what did I need to look for in my photo library, or what did I need to go out and capture. And wording of things has been very, very cleverly and carefully also thought about throughout. Yeah.
One of the words I want to use tonight is inheritance. If you were to inherit a house full of stuff, would you just keep it all? Or would you go through the loft and find out what's in there and get rid of what wasn't useful and give it away? What would you do with it? Would you burn some of it? What would you do with your inheritance? Would you just randomly keep everything for the sake of it?
We were talking about this earlier, and what I realised that Chris was talking about, or how I interpreted it, was that when we talk about our house, keeping our house in order, it's not just the physical structure in which we live and we place our belongings and our furniture and where we lay down to sleep at night, but it's also the physical structure of our bodies, that which is home, and keeping this house in order.
And the word, I think it's Latin, somebody help me out here, I'm not great on classical languages, but eco comes from the word house. Greek, is it? Thank you. Ekologos is the study of the house. Economos is the running of the house. Economics, ecology. Yeah? So when we're talking about a house and the inheritance, we have an inheritance from our culture. We come from a medieval feudalistic culture with very interesting belief systems behind it and all sorts of stuff. What do? Just keep it all? Just hang on to it all because that's what we inherited? Or do we do something useful with it? We start looking at it, we start taking it apart and saying, what's really useful in here and how do we know that? And does it make a difference to our lives? Yeah? So there are fundamental and very key questions that we're asking ourselves when we write in this book. Come out. When we look from the place of blame, justification, denial, projection, you could say excuses as well. That sort of place where everything's external, responsibility is totally external. Yeah? And unconsciousness. When we live from a place where we only have rights, it's my right to have that, thank you very much. What's the world like? When we see from the mature eye of responsibility, where we take full responsibility for everything we think, everything we feel, and everything we do, and we're paying attention to the feedback from that place, so we can see our own actions in the world. How are we in the world? How do we act? How do we behave? How do we live? Again, what changes? What gives? there. What I'm trying to do is spark an inquiry, spark some questions. And it's been called a couple of things already. It's been called what's it called? Manual?
A handbook for living. And also a
manifesto for social change. Yeah? I think they're pretty good. I mean, I like those. Obviously I like those. But there's does anybody understand the term Anthropocene? No, I wouldn't expect to really. You know geological ages, starting in the pre-Cambrian and going all the way through, right? Well, we've gone all the way through to Pleistocene and so on. So all these ages. You haven't heard of Jurassic, yeah, from Jurassic Park. Everybody must know Jurassic, okay? Well, the latest one is now being given a name. It's called the Anthropocene. We're in the geological age of humanity. Technically, it's called the age of man, but I'm going to call it humanity. We're going to take it out of gender war, all right? Yeah, the age of humanity, because the biggest thing affecting the environment is humanity. It's us. Yeah. Now, I was once a biologist. Yeah? If you understand evolution from that perspective, you know that when you mess with the environment, you affect our evolution. So because we're the biggest factor affecting the environment, we're the biggest factor affecting our evolution. So the simple question comes down, are we going to carry on doing that unconsciously? Are we going to be conscious about that? It's simple, yeah? So the last section of the book is Yoga as Conscious Evolution. And it starts with some basic questions saying, how do we get to the point of being the dominant, if you can think of that, dominant species on this planet? Yeah? Arguably we're not, arguably microbes are, but that's another story, alright? It's simple things like this. Opposable fingers and thumbs. It's this, it's the larynx connected to the cerebrum that allows us to communicate. It's things like community, the fact that we can work together, we can do things together. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle that brings us into the place of how we are now. Community is really, really important. And the last piece in the book is looking at what we should pay attention to. The great idea is conflict resolution. Yeah? Which of course is important in current time because now, of course, we're at war. Whether you like it or not, we are now at war. The world's at war. Okay? That's what's happening. What do we do about it? What's our place in this? What's the dance we're doing here? How do we live with this? How do we work with it? How do we change things to work for us? So those questions are wide open, and hopefully the book is going to, again, not necessarily offer answers, but hopefully there'll be some answers in there, but spark enough inquiry so that together we can find the answers, and together we can build something powerful, beautiful, and that's why we wrote it. So hopefully you will enjoy just the images, if nothing else, but also the book.
I was looking at the book just a couple of weeks before it went to print, and actually moved to tears by parts of it. It is that profound in places. In places there's humour, but generally the teachings that Chris shares from what he has learned over the years is incredible. Yeah, and it's been amazing working on this with him. Really.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've got some thanks to give. We've got other thanks to give. First of all, thank you to Louise. It's been fab to work with. Right? It's been hard at times. We've done really good work. Yeah? I am tough to work with.
Thanks to Christina Rubino, who can't be here tonight, but has been instrumental over the past week or two with getting us in touch with the press and on BCFM radio station the other day for interviews and that kind of thing, amongst more. And thanks also, stop talking at the back, to Katie Dupre. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you, Katie.
Next, thanks, Ambrose. Could you come up here for a moment? Okay, this beautiful book, this beautiful book that some of you are already holding and have purchased, has entirely been designed by Ambrose.
Have to come and get one, of course. This week, yeah?
At least one.
At least one. Thank you, at least one.
You must know somebody you want to give one to as well, you see. Yeah. So also, thanks to you.
And the immersion course as well. 2 immersion courses. We've got some of the people here from the first one. Lauren, yeah. Is anybody else here from the first one? Claire? Yeah, Claire, of course, yeah. And Shaheen, yeah. And the course is running at the moment, so thank you guys, and we hope we can keep on growing what we're doing in some way, so I really, really appreciate you being here tonight and being part of our lives as well. Feels like we're growing a fantastic yoga family, so thank you for all the people involved. Sophie, all of you here, you know who you are. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Paul. There's lots of beer and wine here to drink. Drink as much as you want. Please have yourself and enjoy. If you're going to drink, drink with awareness. Yeah? Tantric practice is to do everything with awareness. Everything's allowed, nothing's illegal. You have to do it with awareness. That's all. Appreciation, love, and awareness. Simple.